Hello, welcome to the Always Be Comedy podcast. Our guest today is the great Ben Pope. Tim, I've not told this. My wife was earwigging, doing the laundry while we were doing the episode, and afterwards said, I don't know who that was, but he sounded lovely.
What? No, I did not know that. God, that is, he is an absolute joy. That is so lovely. I had no idea your wife sometimes overheard the episodes after being recorded. That's fascinating.
That's once in however many episodes.
Yeah.
Or she's kept those opinions to herself, but such was
Yeah.
Ben Pope's loveliness. She felt obliged to get it out in the open. I think she's hit the nail on the head. I mean, what he's so likable, such a great brain. And also when we get after the episode, when we do the things we've learned, I mean,
oh my God,
a certain thing that he shared has really, I mean,
we've talked about it since actually, haven't we? Yeah,
we really have. Right, Timo. So Ben Pope. What I would say is Ben Pope has been brilliant for years, and then I've teed you up, and then I've started talking. I'm so sorry. But anyway, hang on. I'll say this. In fact, I told my wife this about him, and she was like, "This is a fantastic, amazing, brilliant for years." And then started, because he runs a bookshop, he started sharing videos on the socials about books.
Yeah.
And heavens to Betsy, he found his niche, he found his USP, call it whatever you like, and it all happened. He encountered this richly deserved breakthrough. And Tim, and now he's taking his book club show to Edinburgh.
Yes, that's right. No comedian is better equipped for well-written comedy about the world of literature, from like the content of books to the front covers to publishing houses and stuff. He's so across it all, and he's really found a niche with that. And I'm so delighted. I texted his debut like in 2017 or something, and like people are really getting on board, and it's great. So yeah, he has been doing a book club show in London recently, and they've been going very well. So he's taken it to Edinburgh for 3 nights only, in the big old Studio 3 at the Assembly George Square. And I could not recommend it more. It's on the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. So he's going to take a book, and he's going to discuss it with 2 comedians, and he's got jokes written all about these books. I really think there's not really going to be a show like it. I was talking to someone yesterday, and he said it is mad that no one's ever done a show like this before, but Ben is the perfect person for it, and I couldn't agree more.
If you told me that this show had existed on BBC Two for the past 10 years, I'd have been like, yeah, I can absolutely believe that. I mean, I imagine we do. This is very arrogant, but I know we do. Look, let's just say this. Certain people listen to this podcast. So I would say, if you're one of those certain people, go see Ben Pope in Edinburgh this August.
Yeah.
With your commissioning hat on.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you were to make that show in telly terms, I think it's relatively inexpensive. But then, you know what, even if that doesn't happen, as we talk about on the pod, this is something that he can get off the ground. I mean, he is getting off the ground. Something he can get off the ground himself. I think it's really fantastic what he's done. Hang on, Tim. And there's something else beyond the book club.
He's doing a five day run of work in progresses, from the 9th to the 13th at the Monkey Barrel, Cabville 2. Great venue, great guy. 12:05, lovely time.
Is that a car alarm at your place or mine?
Yeah, can you hear it? Is it very loud?
Hey, it's real. We keep it in. Tim, when I was at primary school, maybe 5 years old.
Oh yeah,
I had an R2D2. You know, the little, was it Kenner that made them? Tiny little.
Okay.
And let's just say it went missing from the classroom.
Yeah. Oh no.
You know, certain things that haunt you. Like every now and then you think, I wonder what happened to R2D2. I finished a run of warm-ups recently, and at the age of 48, what I bought myself.
Yes, fantastic.
It's a real therapist's dream, is that, isn't it? Getting closure on buying a...
Healed the wound. Fantastic.
Healed the wound. Yeah, but did it heal the wound? It did actually. Yeah,
It did actually. Yeah,
it really did.
Because it's from.
Beauty, that.
Is it vintage essentially?
No, it is one of these black label edition things.
Mm.
Now, as you can see, I keep all the toys in their boxes.
Yeah.
But because of the wound healing nature of this, I ripped this bad boy out immediately.
I respect it.
Have you? Does this chime with you at all? With anything similar? I think it's the first time I've ever done such a thing.
Oh, well, in what way? Like collectible stuff. I've never really got on board with that, but there was a time before comedy where all my disposable income went on vinyl records, and I dread to think how much money I spent between the years of, let's say, 2011 to 2014.
Mine was VHS movies.
Oh, nice. During lockdown, it was Blu-ray for me, so
I'm showing my age with the VHS thing. I mean, I do regret that.
Yeah. Oh, I
was young, disposable income. I was in my early 20s.
We're the same boat in that case for the records. But
I wish I'd met Martin Lewis sooner.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but for me, with a lot of the VHSs, let's say I buy Raging Bull.
Yeah.
I might watch it once, but I've spunked £12 on it or whatever. It's at that age. I think that's mad, isn't it? In this age of, mind you, we didn't know that streamers were.
We didn't know what was to come.
Years away. Sorry, it's a real tangent there.
No,
but I'm pitching James and Tim's movie and vinyl club now. But the difference is, do you still have the vinyl?
I do.
Now that's great. So it could prove quite the investment.
It could, but
Tim's face says no.
If someone wants the debut 7-inch from a Guildford hardcore band which lasted 11 shows, by all means, it's gonna be niche.
You never know.
You never know.
Now, Ben Pope, as well as being a great comedian in his own right, is also one of the Always Be Comedy MCs.
Lovely.
So you will see Ben at Always Be Comedy in the coming weeks. Timo, in the coming weeks. Oh, we've got a Bandaman this Thursday.
Yeah.
Depending on when you're listening to this, but if you're listening to it on the Tuesday it's coming out, it's the day after tomorrow. A work in progress with one of the greatest live acts of all time, a Bandaman. We're also staging the first ever comedy festival in Chelsea. Someone we know was approached by Chelsea Arts Festival. And so from Thursday the 17th through to Sunday the 20th of September, Always Be Comedy is the comedy arm of Chelsea Arts Festival. And so Thursday the 17th of September is Jordan Brooks, Michelle de Swart, Horatio Gould. These are all at Trafalgar in Chelsea.
Let's call it the opening gala.
That's the opening night of the gala.
Lovely.
Tom Davis is running through his Spud Gun tour show on Friday the 18th. On Saturday the 19th, we have Felicity Ward. Oh, hang on. Sorry. What happened there was my wife called me as I was talking and I've read out the wrong show. There is Felicity Ward, but she's at the Bedford in Balham. I mean, I've started it, so I'll finish. Felicity Ward, Bridget Christie, Michael Odewale at the Bedford in Balham. However, Chelsea, George Lewis is doing a show. We've called it Past Perfect, Present Tense. Pretty clever title, if I dare say so myself.
Really good.
Because it will... Sorry, we should not have said that out loud. It will contain, we reckon, half old and then the other half new. Maybe 2/3 old, 1/3 new. But anyway, the idea is that George is running through old and new. It'll be a full solo show. It's Saturday the 19th. And then Sunday the 20th of September, Sarah Keyworth, work in progress, just £10, 6 p.m. Sunday the 20th of September. Listen, guys, there are approximately 12 billion shows on sale at the moment. So if you please visit alwaysbecomedy.com/tickets, there are exactly 109 shows on sale.
Whoa. Okay. Okay. Good stuff.
Yep. So look, hopefully see you at a show soon. Anyway, in the meantime, here is the great man, Ben Pope.
Welcome to Always Be Comedy podcast Rebooked. We're with the wonderful Ben Pope.
Hello,
The
thank you for
the
having me.
you're doing great work right now. Really, it feels like the book stuff, like people are really going for it now.
Ben, in fact, I would say it's buzzy.
It's
It's buzzy,
buzzy. I
dude.
think it's buzzy. I think it's buzzy.
Thanks, guys. Yeah. I mean, what I've discovered is that the people who like books online are considerably more rabid as a fandom of books and of anyone even adjacent to books than any stand-up fan. I think there's probably like a kernel of stand-up fandom that is very, very intense. But the kind of the literary folks online, the book talk people are they really love it. And so just purely by landing the plane a little bit in their territory, I've brought some folks with me, which is nice. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's been quite nice having, I think I have for a very long time just been doing stand up of firing in all directions and about anything and whatever. And it's quite nice having a focus. And just having, I mean, not to be gross and markety, but a USP, dare I suggest.
It
And
feels
that's
like you
been,
found your thing. Like,
yeah, I think
if I may
so.
say so. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think hopefully it's hopefully I'm trying to treat it as a non-limiting thing. I think the worry always is like you go,
Yeah.
cool, I'm the book guy now, and this is all I will ever talk about until I retire at dead, whenever I die. Um, uh, and actually, I think hopefully there's enough kind of there's a broadness to it that allows me to sort of still do stand up the way I want to, but and to do lots
There's
of different things.
I mean, it is limitless, isn't it? Tim, I don't know what's happened, but on our algorithm, there's some. I don't even know that we followed this person. There's some sort of '90s nostalgic comedian, and it comes up maybe because I'm watching it, but not in a good way.
That'll be why. Okay. Yeah.
And
I won't
so,
ask who it is now.
no,
No.
they're not British. It's fine. I think we'll get away with it.
Okay.
They're massive. I mean, they're so successful. I mean, I'm not punching down, but I do need to mute this person. But that is so limiting because their shtick is basically, who remembers Saved by the Bell? And it's like end of bit. Whereas with
Pause.
yeah, I remember that. Me, yeah, I remember it. Oh God, it's come up again. Oh, I'm feeding. I'm the problem. Oh. But books. I mean, good Lord, it's. I mean, it's what a fantastic thing.
Yeah, and I think also like I don't know, there's a I, I I think I'm constantly trying to make sure that it's not. I think if basically I think it is a genuine passion of mine, and it is something that I'm genuinely interested in, and as you say, it kind of has an endless. There's I'm never going to read them all. There's no,
Yeah,
it's an
Yeah.
endless
Yeah.
kind of thing, and the project, they just, as someone who works in a bookshop, they just keep writing them and putting them out. It doesn't stop. Like they don't, no one pauses for 6 months to have a breather. There's never going to be a lack of stuff to talk about. So I don't know, it's nice. It's nice to have something, a well that doesn't have a bottom. That's nice.
people can tell when something is authentic as well. We can all tell when. Oh, I tell you what, I bloody love cricket, and I hope England hit one for 6. Please listen to my podcast.
Andy Zoltzman there. Perfect impression. Imagine if that was what he'd done. Imagine he's been putting that on for 20 years.
But you know what I mean. It's important that it comes from the heart and the soul, right?
I think so. Yeah, because as you say, people can smell when you don't. You're doing something because you think it will make you money rather than. And I mean, I'm not. Hey, let's not beat around the bush. I did also decide to do this fairly actively, so but I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I was always so allergic to doing online stuff, finding stuff like. It took me, I didn't have a smartphone until 2020. I just didn't want to post clips and do all this stuff. I didn't want to have the social media. I didn't want to do it. And so I sort of decided if I were ever going to do it, it would have to be something that I really loved. So yeah, it's nice to have found something that I'm like, I think I probably would do a version of it anyway, irrespective of whether Instagram existed or not. So,
and you've tapped into something with comedians. You know, there is a real crossover between comedians and readers. I mean, you chat with most people on the circuit, and someone like Widdicombe springs to mind. Pasco springs to mind.
Big time.
There's like, I don't know why I've named names. There's loads. I mean, it's you are really onto something, right?
Well, I think that's what I found really interesting was that I think there was this idea, like I feel like at least like five years ago, you'd be on Twitter or something, and the jokes were always like, I haven't read a book in a decade or whatever, or like, I read a tweet, that's the most reading I've done, or all that kind of shit. And I was like, this is
almost certainly
made
a crap tweet like that at some point.
And I mean, you know, obviously it's Twitter. It's all, you know,
me deleting tweets off. Oh yeah, imagine that.
I mean, obviously, very funny if that is what. But I was like, I know. Well, I was like hurt because I was like, oh, am I uncool because I am actually reading things? And then also I was like, this is not representative of the conversations I'm having in green rooms, where like people are so desperate in a way not to be talking about comedy. Sometimes they're just like, oh, you know what I read the other. They want something like,
yeah,
you know, they're like, oh, I saw this movie, or oh, I just read this thing, and I've been fucking. And particularly the comedians who are doing well enough that they're sort of bumming around all day during the day, they've got to do something. So they're you know, they're rattling through stuff, you know, and also what happens now is something that I've noticed is that now other comedian friends who've clocked that I'm doing the book thing, or have found out that I work in the shop, they have started like that when we hang out, they go like, oh, by the way, I read this and I read this and I read that and I read. They're like they want to prove it to Papa that they've been doing their homework. It's really funny, which is great, and it makes for really good. Like it's actually nice to have a chat about non-industry things as well. So I know I realize we were on a podcast in which that is kind of the jam, but in real life, sometimes you can see people not wanting to talk about who's gone to Melbourne, and actually they'd rather have a good chew over what they've been consuming recently.
Where do you stand on audiobooks?
This is a live chat for me. I personally, I don't listen to them, but that has nothing to do with. I basically find them. I can't concentrate. I like reading as something that I'm actively doing rather than passively doing. And I find that often if I'm listening to something, I can't hang on to the information. Like it just passes through me, or I start daydreaming and then I lose my place, and then you have to rewind and da, 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 da. Whereas like if I'm reading a book and I start daydreaming about something based on what I've been reading, then you could go, you look back at the page and you can reorientate yourself. Sorry, I know this sounds like I'm explaining something extremely obvious. For me, I don't like them, but I do think it is weird when you see people who are like, oh, it's not real reading. It's like, fucking everyone's got different brains. Like, let them do it however they want to do it. Like, at least they're like engaging with the stuff. If you can listen to a whole book and understand all the stuff from it, then you've read the book, you know? Like, I don't. And it's also really interesting when you get people, you know, it's a different medium, but like really good people reading an audiobook. Like the act, like when you get a really good actor or a really good author who can read something, it's like it brings the whole thing. It's awesome. I think it's so good. But personally, it's not for me. But that's you know, I'm never going to shit on other people for doing it. I think it's great.
If I'm laboring through a book, I will turn to the audiobook as like a pair of stabilizers.
Nice.
Maybe not stabilizers is the right thing, but it's sort of the thing that's going to help. I know that I've got to finish it, and if it takes the audiobook to help along, and then at night I'll pick up from where the audiobook left off.
Yeah, great.
Which book? Somebody recommended, is it A Heartbreaking Work of Staggering Genius, the Dave Eggers book?
Oh, yes.
I probably got the title slightly wrong. This person said it was the greatest book they'd ever read. And within 20 pages, I was like, "Oh, it's not." And so I had to do audiobook book tandem to get through it. And It felt dirty, but it was the right call, Ben.
Mate, sometimes you got to use the shoehorn. You gotta just let's get through this. Let's tape it back on. Let's go. We got to get to the destination. I think that's totally fair. I think it's totally fair. Also, isn't it absolutely galling when someone tells you? It's like when someone goes like, "Oh, this YouTube video is the funniest thing I've ever seen," and you watch it and you go, "Cool. Well, I guess I have to divorce you now. I guess I have to like this is, it is horrible when someone gives you the best book recommendation
and they're watching you watch it.
Oh, that's shiver down your spine.
Come on, laugh more.
Yeah, that's like two personalities growing apart. That's like you can feel the degradation going on, the erosion of the friendship is occurring in real time.
I can feel my wife listening to me say this as someone who's made her watch, say, a video of Adam Wharton doing a pass. Go on, enjoy it. Have you ever read a book where everyone, people that you trust, people you love, they've gone, this is a masterwork, and have you been reading it and been like, God, I'm actually struggling with this?
It tends not to be stuff. It tends not to be when someone's like, this is genuinely like great writing, because often, I mean, there's probably been some. Yeah, I think often, like, particularly if it's like a huge weight of people who are like, this is great. Even if I'm not like loving it, I do think it often you can be like, well, I admire it.
Sure, yeah.
I'll tell you what I do find often though is when something is very popular, something is very like, it's selling a lot. And I'm like, why is this happening? And then you read it, and sometimes that is because there's buzz. Or there's like a premise, or there's like an idea in it that is like in the cultural consciousness, but the actual buzz is not coming from people who've read it and said it's great. It's just coming from a general aura around it, or an aesthetic, or the cover's really good, or it's about
let's stop beating around the bush. It's about some pensioners who live in an old folks' home and solve a murder.
Yes. It's a good example. I wouldn't dream. As someone who is, a very influential producer in our business, I couldn't possibly comment on the quality.
I read it for that reason.
Yeah,
I read it for that very reason, the buzz. And as I finished it, I was like, I totally get where I get what he's done. I see how the magic trick was pulled off. British people love murder and we love pensioners, and he's put them together and he's changed the world. Yeah. But I'd be lying if I was like, this is the book for me. But I got how he'd done it.
Sure. And I mean, I'm literally having this exact same thing at the moment with, there's this big trend of romantasy. The sort
dragon books.
It is actually not the dragon ones, it's the fairy ones. But there are two very big sequences. There's one that's A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is, I'm boring myself as I'm talking about that is about sort of fairy romance. And then I think it's Onyx Storm, which is the like dragon sequence.
I am on the edge of my seat. This is a thing right now.
Yeah, people love it, and it's like kind of romance, but it's also fantasy, and it's basically kind of smutty, kind of Mills and Boon, but set in fantasy lands. And it's just huge. Like, you cannot conceive of how big, like, it is in certain quarters propping up the publishing industry. Like, it's enormous. People love it. A full romantasy bookshop has opened in Oxford that only sells that genre of thing. And it's very, I think it's obviously partly it's like, it's very popular because it's like the female gaze. It's like women wanting to read stuff written by women about sex that is like not a horrible man doing it to them, although that does feature a bit in it, but it's there's politics there that we won't get into. Anyway, the point is, this thing is madly popular, and I'm reading the first one in order to do a book club on it in Edinburgh, and I'm I cannot tell you how much I have not enjoyed it. It is. I'm spoiled. I like read lots, and I read a lot of literary fiction, and I get great recommendations from publishers and from friends. So I am often reading, even if it's something I don't actively enjoy that much. I'm often reading something that is like at a sentence level very good. And to read something that is like not only is the plot quite boring, the like sentences are badly written. Like it, she keeps overusing the same words. You would think that was like it'd be like watching a stand-up set where they just keep using the punchline is like always involves the word teapot over and over and over again. You're like, this isn't. I would guess that probably would be quite funny actually. That sounds like an Edinburgh show, doesn't it? But she just keeps saying like anytime there's any violence, it's like someone gets shredded into ribbons. Like that's always she keeps coming out with the same phrases over and over again. And you're like, surely like creative writing 101 is you don't use the same words over and over and over again. And it's just like it's like first draft shit. And it is kind of blowing my mind that it's so popular that it's got so many people over the line. Like I can't believe there's so many people. There's like, as far as I'm aware, like 2 sex scenes in it, and it's like that is propping up this entire book. It's I cannot conceive of it. Anyway, but there we go. That's.
I might have said this to you before. If I have, please say. But I was emceeing Leeds Reading Festival. I think it was the Reading leg, and I get someone out the crowd. What do you do for a living? I work at Harry Potter World.
Oh, yeah.
Have I said this before? I mean, I've said this before.
Right.
And I'm all set to rinse this, lovingly rinse, but nevertheless rinse. But as is it called Harry Potter World, the one near Watford? Something like that, isn't it?
Studios, maybe. Yeah.
Harry Potter. You know, I work at the Harry Potter Studio Tour, whatever it is, but the one up at Watford. And I'm gonna go for it in a nice way. But anyway, as he says this, he gets the biggest cheer that maybe anyone will have got at the Reading Festival. That and I don't rinse him quick, like pop the fucking put the brakes on that.
Scabbard, yeah.
But I do pretty much go home that night and start reading the Harry Potter books, as in like I need to fucking, you know, even if obviously I'm 48, this would have happened, and I've been in my 40s. I'm not the target market, so I read the first 4 books, not that night, but I read the first 4 books, and I had the same vibe of like I get what I think JK can take this. I get how the sausage is made, but again, I wasn't. I think I was expecting to. Oh my god, she's very clever at dropping the breadcrumbs, and I mean, if I was going to be harsh, I wonder if there's more than meets the eye with the new teacher. Yeah. There's a lot. There's a lot of that going on.
That's actually, you could summarize every single book as that. Every single new book in that series is Defense Against the Dark Arts guy is a bit quirky, isn't he?
But by the way, I'm very happy to acknowledge that I'm reading this on my own, having this thought, while 7 gajillion people are stood around me dressed as a wizard. There's no denying the success. But does that make sense? Sometimes you do see.
Yeah,
I appreciated it without necessarily reaching for the sorting hat or anything.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's an element of like something just takes on momentum, and then once it has that, there's actually it's sort of beyond. It doesn't matter if you work in PR. It doesn't matter if you like understand social anthropology or whatever. I think sometimes cultural things just take on such a kind of ubiquity. They're just like they are everywhere. And at a certain point, it becomes so big, no one knows why anymore, or no one.
So true.
And you're just suddenly just like, well, I guess that's just something I know about in my, when someone becomes like a household name, you're just like, obviously there was a team of people who tried to make this happen, but also there will be some like dark voodoo somewhere where just it's in the blind spot. No one knows why this has happened, but everyone knows about it now, and familiarity is like absolutely crucial to more familiarity, I guess.
What is that all about? There are certain movie stars where they probably shouldn't name names because these are quite a mean thing to say, but they become, just globally ginormous.
Yeah.
But when you actually look at the body of work, there's not much to that. There's such a specific example, but I dare not. But there's not much there. But this whole zeitgeisty thing has happened where What
Yeah.
is that? What is that phenomenon? I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, obviously Potter had it as much as anything you can think of.
Mm.
What is that exactly?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess it's sort of, I suppose it is, it's like, it's like a Venn diagram, right? Of like something that is like competent, maybe, that at like
Yes.
a
Yeah.
qualitative level is like, the
Mm.
structural thing here
Yeah.
works. And then it's also maybe has some recognizable elements. So like there are some tropes in there that maybe have been done before, but not enough times that people are bored of them. It's two genres mixed together, or it's, Harry Potter. There've been, wizard schools before, but sort of minor wizard schools here, the Worst Witch or like the Wizard of Earthsea or something. And so there is an idea of it, but not enough people know, but some people probably think they have an awareness of it. And then I think it's like timing, right? It's got to be like at this particular moment, all the things lined up. Publishing needed something to fill that hole.
Yeah.
Something, there was like we're waiting for what the new big thing is. There has to be an Oscars every year. So what will be the film that falls into that, gets all that awareness? There has to be some, I think it's just like, it's like such a complicated piece of like awareness machinery that's going on.
Do you remember Da Vinci Code? I mean, that had it in spades, didn't
I mean,
it?
that was,
Jesus
Mm.
Christ.
And again, very bad prose. Like really, I remember Bill Bailey taking the piss out of it, like on stage, being like, he'll write sentences like the man picked up the red cup from the brown table.
Oh, that's Stuart. That's,
That's
Stuart Lee.
Yeah,
Is that Stuart Lee? Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Something like the famous man picks up the red cup or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And it's just like, this was everywhere. You couldn't move for it.
If you went on holiday, you bet your bottom dollar that every person on every sun lounger is holding up the. It was everywhere.
What is that now? Is that now the
fairy stuff?
pensioners and
Yeah, probably.
that feels maybe a few years ago now.
Yeah, the pension.
Yeah, Tim's right. What is it now? What is it? So these people are going on summer 2026. What is going to be the Da Vinci pensioners solving murders and so on?
Yeah, that's actually quite tough for that demographic. That's actually quite tough because I think I know what it would be for the like literary girlies. There's this thing called Yesteryear that's come out this year that's like about trad wives. So I think that's for like the online younger folk. I think there's probably like the Mick Herons did quite well. The Slow Horses books were quite a good thing for that kind of older group. But I don't think there's been like a big, fat detective thing that's done. That's like a.
I'm laughing at us three
honking
writing a book together. The comedians who solved a murder.
I'd watch that. That would be great. I'd watch and read it. In fact, that would be.
I mean, to give the guy his dues. I mean, he doesn't need any more dues, but he's essentially he has created an industry. Because now people how many books have we all seen where the cover is so blatantly
complete ripoff? Yes,
a complete ripoff.
Yeah.
I mean, people must buy those books thinking that they're buying that particular, and they're not. And
I mean, this is something I talk about quite a lot online. Is like covers that are so clearly designed to be like adjacent to the thing you actually want. That is like, so that when you go to reach for something, you have the iconography. You're like, oh great, I'll buy another thing from the pile of something. That is actually a big problem in publishing at the moment is the YA teen novels that have like sort of the heated rivalry type thing, where it's like, or two hockey players who are like in love with each other.
Oh yeah.
And they're 18, and it's very chaste. But this is quite kind of what's going to happen. Has this exact same style as the kind of like early 20s romance two people on the front cover, but they have like they lick each other's balls and shit. Like there's and there's so many complaints online of like mothers and aunts and uncles who've gone to buy something for their teenage niece and have picked up this thing thinking it will be
Oh
like a
my
young, and it's
God.
actually just like people getting busted over a table, and it's and it's just and that is like that is a foreseeable. People should have known that was going to happen. Like it's so clearly like the covers look so similar, the kind of cartoonish sort of twinks on wearing some kind of sports gear. It's like yeah, they should have known.
Geraldine likes golf. I'll get this.
Yeah.
Even it's called balls in the rough. I'm sure it's fine.
If they haven't done a golf one yet, and that someone's got to do that, surely. I don't know if it's the demographic. I don't know if there are a lot of 18-year-old sexy golfers, but maybe.
Let's find out.
Let's
The three of us. Let's do this.
The comedians, right? Do detectives and
Bloody love golf.
balls in the rough. Yeah.
When did you realize? You know, you sort of go where the energy is and all that. When did you realize that the online stuff was, oh, hello, there's something in this?
I did a reel about I did actually was a thing about book covers and about things I was kind of sick of seeing in the shop, because you know I see so many every day, and it's just, you sort of get used to the patterns. And I put it out, and I put it out on a Sunday night, and the next morning it had like triple, quadruple, maybe like tens of thousands more views than anything I'd put out of my stand-up ever. And I had like messages from
Ben.
I had a really nice message from like Alfie Brown, being like, mate, this is bang on. And I was like, if other comedians are like seeing that and being like, then this is comedically is good, which is helpful and good for my sense of self-esteem, but then also just like the general, like the populace is interested in this, and it's just it's so noticeable compared to I'll put a stand-up clip out. Like these days when I put stand-up clips out now, because I have a few more followers, they'll do pretty well, they'll do fine. But it compared to beforehand, you know, I get 3,000 people watching something, and you're like, and those aren't real views, those are like, you know, me. That's just like people flicking past it or whatever, and just this my friends liking it or whatever. And you're like, these are my beautifully crafted things that I've been working on for the best part of a decade. Like,
Yeah.
and it just feels like I described it once as putting like an antique coin collection into a candy, like a fruit machine. Like you're just like being like, oh, I hope this 1950s farthing that I've kept and it's one of my priceless heirlooms does well in the Vegas slot machine. It is horrible. But then so to find something and be like, whoa, oh, okay, great. This is fun to do. People like it, are interested. And I think partly it's because there's just something about it as well. It's about something rather than just being scattershot jokes, which I love scattershot jokes, and I would rather be doing them for the rest of my life. But I do think there is like, it's nice when something happens on these kind of, you know, online where there is so little to actually hang on to. It's nice to be able to actually give people something like a bit of purchase, you know. So yeah, so I just started directing things a bit more towards that.
So to anyone that hasn't yet got the ticket for Edinburgh, what would they expect?
It is it's a book club basically. So it's me and two other comedians read the same book. We encourage the audience to do the same, but you don't have to have read the book to understand what's going on. I basically do a set about a book for about 10 minutes, and then we have like a panel discussion. So it's like a live podcast, really. Me and the comedians talk about the book. I ask them some difficult and hopefully hilarious questions. We talk about reading in general and like what their habits are and how they deal with it. And then we do some games with the audience. And then we open it up to like audience questions. So everyone can have their say on what they think of the book and that kind of thing. And the books we're doing are The Salt Path by Raina Wynn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
a spicy meatball, right?
a real there are a few publishing controversies, but I was like, we should do one of them at least. We're doing Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain, which is a banger, and then we're also doing this romanticy book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the thing I'm reading right now, which is really fun. And we've got, who's coming? Anya Magliano's doing it, Pia Novelli's doing it, Celia AB's doing it, Rhys James is doing it, Amy Matthews, Tammy Wilkie, really nice group. So it should be really fun.
That feels like, that feels exciting just listening to that.
I hope, I fucking hope so.
Where sorry, I've immediately turned into your agent here. Do you see this becoming obviously it's not like I'm not a Kill Tony fan, but in terms of filming the live shows, putting them out and so on, would a dream be? It's not my bag, but I appreciate what the guys pulled off.
Yeah.
Would you see that as that? Is it because as you're describing it, I thought that's it does feel like it could fit that world.
Yeah, this is the ongoing thing. I think I like doing them live and keeping a certain amount of it as a mystery for live. Like I do like. We don't put out loads of clips of the actual club happening because it's quite nice as a sort of special get-together, I always think. But, that may change. We're trying to... I do them monthly at the moment in London.
Yeah.
I'm trying to develop it to be a podcast. I'm also, as you say, deciding how best to... Because I do think it does work well filmed and could be... quite a fun slice of kind of cultural kind of, Radio 4-y kind of BBC 4-y kind of filmed content. But I'm trying to work out what that will be. It would, as you say, like a sort of Kill Tony style thing. But exactly the opposite in every possible tonal way.
It is the literal opposite of Kill Tony.
It's about as different as it could possibly be.
I know which show I'd rather watch.
Yeah. Oh well, that's kind.
And it's not the one where open micers look like they're about to burst into tears because they've been humiliated. If you've seen it, I think it's Bill Burr, Tim, who like the penny drops as to what the format is, and he's like, it's basically like, no, sorry, you can't. These guys are up here trying their best, and you cannot. It's good. It's.
That's. I should seek that out. That sounds like a lovely.
Yeah, Ric Flair. All right, Ric Flair may have. Had a couple of dandelion and burdocks beforehand, but Ric Flair is coming from the exact same angle, isn't he, Timo?
He is. Yeah, that one's harder to watch because he's. It's a drunk, possibly grieving man.
Oh God!
I don't know. He's not going through a great time, but Bill Burr's more assured with what he's saying. I'll say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very well put.
Very quickly, Sarah Jessica Parker comments on your videos and asks you to do videos about certain things.
It's happened for sure. Yeah.
What
that was.
Are you talking about? Sorry, those words went in my head and percolated around there, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not normal." Mate, that is unbelievable.
So, what I can give you the context for this is that Sarah Jessica Parker was sort of to the surprise of quite a few people, but they are increasingly doing this more. Was on the judging panel for the Booker Prize last year. So she was, along with some very prestigious authors. I think Roger McGough was on it. I can't remember.
Jesus Christ.
They have to read something like mad, like 400 books over the course of the year in order to whittle it down to the shortlist and then choose a winner. So she was like, she obviously must have been a keen reader and was talked to her producer of PR and was like, I want to do this. So she's sort of become a bit more well known as like someone who supports books and publishing. And for whatever reason, I had a very I had a reel that went out at Easter that was about book covers or something, and then I did one about the International Booker Prize, and she shared them both, and she commented on the International Booker one being like, oh, we were talking. So I was just talking about like translation and how like how we should all read more translation, and it's very difficult to, like, translation is all about essentially readapting a book. You're not just literally converting it from one thing to another. You're like turning it to its own book. And she was like, oh, we were talking about this at dinner last night, and I think you should do a series about translating or whatever. And so I will do at some point. I think, because if Sarah Jessica Parker asks you to do something, you should probably do it. So I'm going to do that. It's also such a funny thing to comment on someone's video, because it's like, we were talking about this at dinner. Who is we? Is this like you and Matthew Broderick and like what's going on there? The entire cast of Sex and the City were sitting around a table.
That's great.
So anyway, I mean, obviously these things mean nothing, because
thing is, though, you should ask her on.
Well, that's the other thing is I need to send some big boy emails to some big boy people to try and make something fun.
I know. Listen,
happen.
Sending those big boy emails is. I sometimes have to take a deep breath and make a cup of tea, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
it is worth it.
You guys must know about this, because you get such incredible lineups. You must be sending some emails where you're like, here go the nuclear codes. Bang.
It is that. It is. There's a little bit of perform the sign of the cross, kiss my ring like Raul, who used to play for Real Madrid and Spain. Maybe Tim and I will send each other a, well, here goes nothing, and then
just off to Kumail Nanjiani's email. Bing.
Yeah, I mean,
direct
and
example.
It worked. Yeah, goddamn worked. Yeah, great job, folks. Yeah, I need more of your courage, I think.
You've just got. Well, look, I if this helps in any way, so when I was a journalist, a big part of my job was booking cover stars and interviews, and so you just get used to sending big boy emails.
Yeah.
So if you've sent big boy emails and been successful with the likes of, say, Denzel Washington for an interview, you know what I mean? But it is literally that. So it's just there's an old Jack Nicholson line. It's not aged well, because he's talking about how successful he was with women. In fact, it's not. This is not a quote that's aged well, but the quote is basically something like, I'm paraphrasing. It's basically like, I've been so promiscuous because I've been knocked back so many times, or something like that. But what he means, if you're going to drag that back to sending big boy emails, it basically boils down to you've got to throw as many darts at the board as possible, and one might hit the bullseye. I wish I'd said that instead of the Jack Nicholson quote from the 80s. But
okay, got to be a big old email slut. Got to really put myself out there.
And you're going to get some big boy no's.
Yeah. Okay. It's Benny.
Yeah.
Okay, noted. This is helpful. This is very good logistical pep talk. This is very helpful.
We should
sorry,
it's through the format. Before we do that, you have work in progress in Edinburgh, but also you have the special coming out in September.
I'm doing 5 days of work in progress, new hour of new bits and bobs. From the 9th till the 13th at Monkey Barrel in the Cabaret Voltaire 2 at the very civilized hour of midday, which is
ideal.
I think ideal or terrifying. I don't know if I'll be compos mentis, but anyway. And then my last year's show, The Cut, which I had a really good time with last year, is now. I'm just going to be on Vimeo, I think, on September the 1st.
Oh,
basically, brilliant.
I'm going to try and put it. I just didn't want to put it out on YouTube, because I put 2 shows out on YouTube. They've done, but they were really nice. They got watched by lots of people. Lovely. And then this show is very personal, and there was like a lot of stuff about my dad who passed away, and there's also stuff about I got circumcised, and it was like, which obviously is a mad mixture of shit for a show. But I was just like, you know what? I think it would be nice if I can put clips of it online of the bits I'm happy to put into the general ether. But I don't really want all the like random American dweebs in their hoodies in the middle of the Midwest who are never going to come and see me live to be commenting, another dead dad show or whatever on my, and I just thought I can do without that. So I'm going to put it behind a paywall, and the people who really want to see it can see it. And it might also make me a little bit of money, which is I can't be sniffed at, you know. So yeah, but it will be out on September 1st is the plan.
Ben Pope, who are your favorite acts to see in a green room?
I was thinking about this, and I think honestly, it's often my favorite. It's a kind of genre of person. It's someone like I came up with but haven't seen in ages. Like I love a little trip down memory lane. When I ever bump into Christopher MacArthur Boyd, the Scottish comedian who is so amazing, and we did like a half-hour show together at the Fringe in 2015 when I was tiny and very bad, and he did pretty well over the course of the month, and I died on my ass for 25 days in a row. And he put up with me for all that time. So whenever I see him, that's just like a genuine lovely pleasure. It's like bumping into a long lost cousin or something. I also really appreciate when people like Amy Matthews, who is a close friend, but when people who are really good at dealing with difficult people in the green room, or like different generations of folks.
Sure.
Amy is always amazing at being like really good with like, oh, here's some new folks who we've never met before. Oh, come and say hi. Like very, very like hosts, almost like the green room. Very good at talking.
Sure.
People. I really appreciate that because I'm very socially kind of not awkward, but just like I'm tired, and sometimes I'm just not very good at it. And it's amazing when you have someone who's just like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing. But largely it's lovely to have a little trip down sentimental memory lane with folks.
Right.
That's what's really nice.
Brilliant.
Great. Who is the best new act you've seen recently?
Two people who I think are great and are going to do awesome things. And I think you might even struggle to say that they're new, but I think they are both like fairly fresh in comparison in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
One of whom I know you're very on board with already, which is Don McGovern, who I just love. And whenever I see him, I'm just like watching him smash things and just being so like free flowing and has a quip for everything, and his material is always really just like robust and excellent. I just think he's going to be a big star,
and always so funny off stage as well.
Oh yeah, which I also again makes me so jealous because I'm so desperately boring again in the green room. So
No.
I find I'm always like, gosh, wow, here are the actually funny people. I'm the person who went and did homework to do it. So he's awesome. And then someone else I really, really rate is Chelsea Birkby, who is just so funny. And I recently saw her. We were doing a benefit in like rural Oxford to like a big marquee full of pensioners eating pizza. And it was one of those gigs where you're like, okay, let's pull this together. Let's dig down into, one of those things as well where you start doing jokes and you realize that you've only got punchlines that are either directly insulting to the elderly or about how much you hate kids, who are the either members, children in the audience, and also the charity is for a kids charity, or just you're suddenly like looking at all your weapons, going like, well, these are a bit tart for what we've got going on, and I went up and I had a fine time. It was okay. And then Chelsea went up and did a set in which she talked like, she had a whole bit about like sex toys and stuff. And it was like, when you're like, oh my God. And she just smashed. She just had like a really good get. And you're like, oh wow, you've not only found a way to do this like in a smart, interesting, clever way, but also you're doing it to people who you would traditionally not think would be able to cope with that. And I was like, that's some lovely work. Yeah, she writes awesome, very funny. just great gags, but then has a very disarming persona as well, which I think is really, really cool.
Who is your favorite act who no longer does it?
This, I mean, bearing in mind I started as a sketch comedian, so there is like a littered sort of Avengers Doomsday floor of dead sketch groups out there. You know, there's like a string of corpses out there on the floor. I was thinking about this. It's quite hard, and it's also I was like, I dare not mention any stand-ups because the terrifying thing sometimes is you go, is someone not doing it anymore? And then you realize you've just not seen them. And actually they're very successful. And you've gone, you know, Red Richardson, he fell about it. You're like, oh no, he's like on the tube. Like it's very,
he's doing a Palladium next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's like truly
another sold out tour. Yeah.
That
is true. That is true.
Yeah.
I wonder if they do it anymore. And then you Google their name. Oh God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. They're like, you know, and it's just because they're not doing the gigs you're doing because they're so successful, which is great. I mean, and you know, often it's like you're like, oh, I mean, thank God that it's them and not, you know, the people who did quit who were rubbish. So that's you know, that's great. People, I'll tell you what, I would pay good money for. I know these people have not quit comedy, but I would pay good money for another Daphne sketch show.
Yeah. Oh man,
to have a redo of Phil Wang and Jason Forbes and George Fouracres. I remember seeing that and being like, this is actually unfair. I didn't realize you were allowed to just put 3 of the most funny people in one go. I thought there had to be like, you know, someone doing all the heavy lifting and two people sort of hanging on around after. I didn't realize it could just be bangers top to bottom. I would I get in a time machine and go back and see those shows again. They were so fun.
Yeah, top 3 biggest laughs ever in a comedy show for me is from a Daphne show when they're from a cafe sketch. But yeah, just unbelievable.
So good.
God.
They did that infamous Russell Brand comic relief show, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, was that where it was like quite uncomfortable? Like the radio, the whatever it was, the relay wasn't very good, and people couldn't hear what was going on or something.
I would say it's one of those things where if you watched it, you would remember it forever. You know.
And I do.
And I do. It's yeah. It was probably most, well, certainly one thing it's more infamous for, but there was the bit Brett Domino Trio, and they do Brett does a great video where it's him almost like Match of the Day-esque talking you through what happened, as like when a footballer talks you through a goal. I've seen the keeper off his line, and he's done a video analysing what happened that night. So they get told to restart the song. I think they have to do it 3 times.
Oh, not God. By a stage manager, by Russell Brand being by Russell Brand.
Yeah.
Going, oh, bloody hell, darling, you're going to have to do that again. And it's just...
it's live. And it's live.
Live.
Oh, fuck me.
They cope with it. So, I mean...
Yeah. Whoever programmed that show, they programmed really good acts for it, but it just was... The way it was presented was crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Whoever curated it, it was like, you know, but maybe they should have Timo just pre-recorded it at a comedy night or something.
Way. Yeah.
And also because it was so late, and so that if memory serves, I don't know how many actual audience are there, and whether it's because it was so late. So is it just the? I'm just throwing this out there. It felt like it was just the staff who were doing their best to try and make it work, because the last tube I think was long gone by then.
Yeah, and it was like Jules Holland, where like all the comedians in like different parts of the studio. People are like standing and turning around, going, "Oh, where's Daphne?" And then it was like chaos.
This actually like hurts at a molecular level, hearing all of it. This is like skeletally uncomfortable.
Because the 3 of us, we know how that could have worked.
Yeah.
One stage for one.
One stage. Anything else? No, that would have done it, actually. Tim's right, it was. Lou Sanders is wet. Oh, she's over there somewhere. It was. Compare gets each act on, and they do their set with facing the audience who aren't having to walk 20 meters to the next bit.
Oh, God.
We'll keep it brief, but maybe a different host. But...
let's not forget to change that. I think we've changed the format, but we've kept.
Can you imagine? Comic Relief 2027. We followed what you lads said to the letter because we think you were onto something. Anyway, without further ado, please welcome your compare. We didn't need.
Oh my God.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff.
Anyway, sorry. Back on
sorry. Who was your favourite comedian? Doesn't do it anymore.
Oh,
well, Tim's Russell Brand. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Daphne. It was Daphne. Sorry, that's where that came from. Yes, Daphne were phenomenal.
Yes,
and we're seeing Phil tonight. We'll tell him.
Please pass it on.
Yeah, we're going to regale. Yeah. Okay. Moving swiftly on. What's a bit or a joke that you've retired that you secretly miss doing?
You know what? I think I always think I used to have a story about going to a paintball center as on a stag do and getting shot in the head. And it was like the first proper story I'd made work with like a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it like crescendo to like a big punchline at the end. And I looked back on it the other day because I was emceeing something and there was like someone mentioned paintball or something, and it allowed me to do the bit, and I pulled it out of the archives just to throw it up. And I came back to it and I was like, this still is good. This is and that was like a lovely thing of like, oh cool, I was on to something then. I think sometimes I look back at old material, particularly there's like a couple of Edinburgh shows I look back on and I go, oh, we had a few good gags there and we were stringing a lot of shit together. And actually, it's really nice when you look back on your stuff and you go, no, this is like line for line. This is robust. And it was like it was so lovely because it was like, oh, I've got something to close with. And I've got like I've got something with a bit of, meat and some gear, which is, I think when you're starting out is like, so you're just so desperate for that. And you're looking at other comedians who have like proper routines and you're like, oh, why do I only have like this sort of smattering of bits and bobs? And that was lovely. That was a nice thing.
Right. Superb.
I'm going to interrupt the podcast very quickly to say Ben Pope is a very good comedian, and it's not giving you that impression. But when he talks about his comedy, he's very good.
But hang on, all the always be comedy comedians are self-deprecating, aren't they?
I know, this feels like another level.
It's endearing stuff.
It's endearing stuff.
Because guys, off mic, he is so arrogant. Oh my God.
This is what I mean when I say I'm in the green room. I'm a fucking nightmare.
Your shit. Yeah.
Your shit.
Anyway.
I appreciate that, Timmy. Thank you.
That was nice. Nice.
Well, I worry it's condescending now. Anyway. Which Piers joke or bit do you wish you had written?
Okay, so two things here. There was a line in Pianovelli's most recent show where he described being at school and being like used in rugby games because he was so tall and big as like he was like, I played rugby, but like only in the same way that like African elephants were used in like the war to like, just like something as like a thing. And that, not only do I wish I wrote like lovely image and all the rest of it, but also I was also like 2 foot taller than everyone else at school, and that is exactly how I was used in rugby games when I was like 8 years old. And so it was one of those things where you're like, not only is he absolutely nailed that, also that I had that experience and I could have. But I mean, Pierre is always if you've thought of something, Pierre has thought of it and done it better and smoother and with a better thingy already. So that's a pretty universal experience. The other thing I was going to say was I recently watched. Do you know Avaldis Karosis? Do you know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
him, but I've heard of
And
him.
he's great, and he often does quite kind of like edgier stuff that I normally not my bag at all. As in, it's not the sort of stuff I would do. But he had recently had a routine that was about romanticy books, like I was talking about earlier,
Oh
and he
yeah.
absolutely like rinses the topic for like a good 5 to 10 minutes. And I was watching it being like, damn, like that's the routine. That's the one I would really like that. And he's like, you can tell he's really worked at it. It's like really just like tight and lovely. And again, yeah, just one of those things where you see someone just get onto the topic before you do and just do a great job with it so that you don't feel you can go near it anymore.
What is the weirdest way you've made money to supplement comedy?
I have had a series of bizarre retail jobs. In my 20s, I worked for a terrarium workshop company where we would go into like WeWorks and as a sort of optional extra, people could come and learn how to make a terrarium. And I'd show people, like how to put little plants into tiny little bottles. And that was particularly peculiar during lockdown because obviously couldn't go and do any of the workshops in person. So they just got me making up the kits in a warehouse to send to people in their houses. So there was a real like late capitalist moment in like 2021 where I was like doing 5 hours of putting little pebbles into plastic bags just to send in the post to people. And you do just like look at your life and go like, okay, I think we're really near the end of humanity. I think at this point, I think we're really getting close where I'm like sending pebbles in the post to people. Um, I also used to work in a toy shop, and I really did not care about toys. I loved the people there, and it was a great shop, but I just did not. I was not interested in toys at all. And I remember once going. I had had a very bad breakup, and I'd gone to a house party, and I drunk way too much. And at the house party, there'd been a big bonfire, and I had stood next to it, sort of crying for most of the party. And I'd cut my hand on a piece of the wood. So the next day I came into work hungover with like a bit of blood on my shirt, smelling of wood smoke. And that was the day. It was in Belsize Park, and that was the day that Benedict Cumberbatch came into the shop
No,
to
it's
buy
not.
toys for his.
No,
his
it's
son.
not.
And I was walking out, and I walked over to him, just like smelling of wood smoke with like blood all down me. And I had to sort of try and show him which of the little plastic toys would be best for his 2-year-old. And that was one of those days where you're like, nah, I wish I was at home right now. I wish I was successful enough not to do this. Yeah, there's been a lot of that kind of thing.
The Sarah Jessica Parker Benedict Cumberbatch episode will be a banger.
Benedict, do you remember me? Do you remember me?
Please. I've changed so much.
That can go my big boy email.
The final question: best advice, perhaps from another comedian or something you've learned along the way that you'd like to share.
There's sort of two separate pieces of advice that kind of combine into one. When I was writing my first or second Edinburgh show, I was working with a director called Rohan Acharya, who's really great. And he worked on like the Go 8-Bit show when that was on TV. And he like directed Brendan Burns and stuff. And we were talking about trying to do like a routine about going to the gym.
Rohan wasn't a stand-up, was he?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, right.
But
I think I'm getting confused with someone else.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever actually performed, but he he used to run like the BBC tent and stuff at the Fringe, and he was like really like in it, and still produces stuff and directs shows, and it's great. Yeah, we were working on like a gym routine, and I think we were just kind of like, there's so many people who were talking about the gym. It was like that sort of around 20, sort of 17, 18, where like gym culture was like a big thing. Everyone had a routine about it. And he was like, well, look, we should just write the definitive version of this. We should try and like write the ideal version. Like, what is that version of it what's your ideal version of this? Let's, instead of being scared of writing that, let's write that version. And like very similarly to this, I was having the same wobble about a sort of hipster cafe routine I used to have. And I was talking to someone at a party at it, and Phil Wang just was like, well, just write the definitive hipster cafe. Don't worry about it. Just write the hipster cafe routine. Wow. And I always think about that when I'm writing stuff, where I'm just like, don't be scared that someone else has covered the same topic. A, do it your way, and B, just like do the best version of it, the scary hypothetical version of it you have in your head, where you're like, this is the. Don't be scared of your own thoughts about it. Basically, just like go as far as you'll take it. Like, make it bigger, make it better, make it, do the one, and I think about that a lot with writing. I'm always just like, how do we make this like the way that people will think about this thing? How do we write the man draw for, and even if you don't get there, which often you don't, but I think thinking at that level and being like, why shouldn't I actually write something fucking sick for this? I think it's quite helpful just to sort of get yourself over your own obstacles.
That's great.
That's
really great.
Yeah.
Ben, we can't thank you enough.
Tim,
what a brilliant guest.
Well, lovely boy.
Guys, thank you. Thanks for having me. I always love your gigs so much. I love them so much, and you guys
just as well.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, parting shot there. I should say, not enough Russell Brand at the gigs, guys. Not even close.
Time to send a big boy email.
We've got some special guests coming up. We don't.
Sorry, we don't, guys. You know us well enough by now. Bit of fun. Good God. Right, Ben, thank you very much. That was great.
This is a real treat. I'll see you guys soon, hopefully.
See you soon. Cheers, Ben, and have a great time with the show.
Cheers,
thanks, man.
Big thanks to lovely Ben Pope. I'd also like to thank Martin Kellner at TalkSport, who had me on to promote Always Be Comedy at the Bedford in Balham. We are permanently at the Bedford in Balham from Friday the 4th of September, every Friday and Saturday forever. I think there's one weekend in October where we're not there, Tim, because there's a podcast festival.
Yeah. Every now and again there'll be a podcast festival, maybe once a year, where we won't be there. But yes, otherwise. Yeah,
and also like this summer, the reason why we didn't do more than the 4 pilot shows was because of the World Cup. So, I imagine, Timo, Euros, World Cups, that sort of thing, summers might be a bit different.
Yeah, I actually don't know. But look, we're there so often, we're even around New Year's Eve. So get thinking about that.
So our next bit of homework, guys.
Yeah.
We've always got lots of homework. But on the list, we need to put on a New Year's Eve show.
Yeah, we've never done a New Year's Eve show, as far as I know. And
we've never done a New Year's Eve show.
This would be a very boring thing for me to say. I'd be intrigued about the pricing and stuff. We've not thought about that sort of thing before. It'll be intriguing.
It's quite funny. We said to the venue, what price do you think? Sort of like passing the book, and they were like, up to you, which is very nice of them. But also we're like, we don't know, because we appreciate you've got to pay the comedians a lot more.
Yeah.
For sacrificing their New Year's Eve. Hang on, when I say a lot more, let me just qualify that. More. Quite a bit more.
I think quite a bit more is absolutely the case.
Quite a bit more. So yeah.
All wrapped up by 10 is the plan.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, great.
I don't think it's put the mic into a stand and then all lang syne and balloons drop down. Maybe. Sounds quite nice.
It's so funny that you say that, because in my mind, it really was. Okay, guys, before we go, Tim, join me on stage. 10, 9, go on, you do the 8. Right, okay, good. All wrapped up by 10.
I think maybe half 10. Listen.
I'm not a New Year guy.
I'm not a New Year guy.
Well, even when I was a boozer.
Yeah.
because it would always be like 12 deep at the bar.
Oh,
it was never a good night out.
No. Last year was the first time I did that thing where you go to sleep before midnight indignantly, and I had a lovely time.
Oh, mate. Welcome to the party, pal. Also, there was one New Year where we got a takeaway, and because it was so busy, I remember it was a pizza. It was pre-kids. I think the pizza was wrong. It was cold.
Oh.
So if you guys, Tim and I will happily. Well, hang on. I mean,
What are you going to say?
I need to clear this one off the line. First and foremost, go to Always Be Comedy at the Bedford in Malham. But if you were to stay in, I think Tim and I could do a pretty good 10-step plan to the perfect night in. My number one thing is buy like party snacks, buy them from the supermarket, stick them in the freezer. Don't do takeaways are an impossibility on a New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I have to assume so. Yeah, I don't think I've ever done that. I'm surprised.
We had another shock at another restaurant where I went to collect. I think we had to wait. It was well over an hour. I had to sit and wait.
Oh God, right?
Because they couldn't cope.
Yeah, busy old time. Hey, I reckon just go to the Bedford and Balham, and then there's a restaurant where they'll serve you your food.
That's a great
before the show. Before the show.
It's a great before the show. So Tim, we need to have a think about. I mean, we could even announce that lineup on a podcast, like you're doing an FA Cup draw.
Oh, yeah, lovely. Yeah.
Opening the gig, pull a piece of paper out. Will be who would just without thinking.
Yeah,
who would you go for? I think like a Sarah Barron.
Sarah Barron's a great shout.
A Jacob Hawley.
Oh, now you're also talking with Sarah Barron. I must stress, but lovely stuff.
Hang on, I shouldn't have named names because now if we don't book them, I mean, they're fresh in my mind because they're with us coming up. Sarah's with us tonight.
Jacob waiting by the phone.
Yeah. Hang on, sorry, these were just musings.
Yeah, Jacob just cancelled his New Year's trip to Portugal.
Yeah. Anyway, Timo, that's one tumble over, isn't it?
It is. I've got some idea of pricing, but also
Joe Caulfield, something like that.
Oh God, yeah.
But look, we shouldn't have named names.
She'll be doing a corporate for.
Yeah, of course she will.
The biggest company on earth.
And rightly so. She's the best.
Yeah.
Please no snitch tagging. Please.
Oh yeah.
Snitch tagging's awful, isn't it?
It is. Hang on. I was about to say, I'd like to think it's gone away. No, it hasn't. It definitely hasn't gone away.
I don't think our guys don't have snitch tag energy.
No. I'd like to think most.
But when it happens.
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm sure you've all seen it.
Oh, you'll have seen it. Definitely.
I remember an online show and somebody name checked someone. It was only a name check, and they got the person got snitch tag. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Yeah, good lord.
Right then, Timo, we forgot the key bit. The whole point of this. What did we learn? And what we learned was it was Ben's bit. I think any comedian or aspiring comedian, his bit about aim to write the definitive version.
Yeah.
And I've shared that with a couple of pals, and they've really gone for that. I think it's the fact that two people said it to him independently.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, stand-up comedy has been a thing now for such a long time. It's very, very, very hard to come up with something that no one's ever talked about before. I think it's impossible, if I'm very honest. And
I think it's pretty much impossible.
I mean,
when it's that word for word, that's plagiarism.
But, I just mean.
But if Tim's got a routine about the tube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Another comedian can't go, trend on my toes.
Yeah. Some comedians are like that, but yeah. Anyway, why there's been a catty outro?
Well,
excuse me, you can't talk about going to the shops. I've done that.
I mean, there's one in particular this week that we've talked about.
Actually, yeah, lovely. Yeah, good times.
So yeah, I mean, here we go. I bet you're wondering what's down here. So what's down here? Spider-Man.
Yeah.
R2D2. R2D2, and then sentimental. My first ever warm-up gig was for Nick Helm, Heavy Entertainment, and one of the things he did was dress up as Evel Knievel and jumped over these double-decker buses on a little little tricycle or something?
Yeah.
So I took one of the buses, and that is one of the Heavy Entertainment buses. This has great, not emotional's a bit strong, but anyway, there is significance to this.
That's right.
God bless Nick. Nick needs to move that show, by the way.
Oh, okay. For anyone coming in August, you might be coming in a bit later in the year, it turns out.
You'll have an email by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Lots of love. Thank you, as always. Very grateful. Thanks for the shares. It all helps. Timo, see you tonight.
See you tonight. Absolutely.
Right. Bye.